everyone, this is Lala Legacy and welcome back to 1000 Lies. Now if you haven't subscribed, please do so and like this video as well, it would mean the world to me. Now let's get in. The clerk brings Ziva her food, which means it's my turn to place an order now. I'll have... I don't even know what you guys have. Just stuff all the meat you can into a sandwich. Indian! Yeah, sorry, that was really insensitive of me. Please? That isn't what I meant! What? I asked politely. Oh, you meant you wanted a bite of my sandwich. Sure, I'll share with you. I give up. You're clearly just trying to piss me off. We leave the shop with our sandwiches in hand. While walking, I ask Ziva if we can stop and sit somewhere together. I exhaustedly plop onto a nearby bench, closing my eyes and relishing in the sweet respite. Ziva looks annoyed and puffs out her cheeks when I look at her. She's not angry, but somehow serious. This is what I meant by the difference between lies and deceit, Indian. You can lie all you want, but deceit always depends on how much the other person trusts you. There's no deceit without a lie, but there are lies without deceit. In this situation, you're both the liar and the deceived. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you're still craving a bite of my sandwich. Too bad, girl, you've already missed your chance. I already told you that I don't want it! This has nothing to do with it. How can I make you understand? Ziva folds her arms and racks her brain. Think of a schizophrenic trying to describe reality. To do that, he'd first have to lie to himself about what he's seeing, but he wouldn't be able to deceive himself without what his own reality is presenting. There's no use for him to distinguish between reality and delusion if what he feels is totally different, right? The tone of our conversations usually is gone. It starts feeling more and more like a lecture and that pisses me off because we only have 20 minutes off for our breaks, a time we should be spending forgetting about class. Did you come up with all that crap on your own or did you steal it from a book? It was me, I guess. It just came to me. Did it sound weird? In short, stop interrupting me. Your behavior is nothing more than a clear-cut example of internal conflict. There's something you like and feel attracted to, but the closer you get to it, the more negative points about it come to mind, so you want to run away or avoid it somehow. My point is that we won't know what's going to happen until it actually happens. That's why I think you should be brave and get on with it. Between the email and Mysterious Girl X, I'm positive that you want to know more about everything. Instead, you lie to yourself, believing that the situation is just too stupid. The real question is, can you deceive yourself? And if you can't, then you won't deceive me either. You aren't convincing anyone. I look at Ziva in disbelief as she continues proudly bragging about her own words. I've come to a conclusion. I was right when I first said that you were lying. You caught me! In any case, lies are too demonized in my opinion. Ziva grins after processing what I had just said. In response, I begin sweating, realizing that I probably just opened Pandora's box. Thankfully, I'm saved by the bell as I notice a certain someone approaching us. Check it out! Compañero Ziva, here you are. I was speaking with some girls from the other side when... who's this guy? Huh? Me? What do you mean? It's almost like I know you from somewhere or something. It must have been the work of a witch. I think she chanted a spell, something like forget about Ase. But who's Ase? Stop twisting my words, Indian! You know that wasn't what I meant! Whatever. Ase, what were you saying before? It better be worthwhile. I lost you guys a while ago, and I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, back to what I was trying to say. I forgot. I can't tell if you're only smart when you want to be, or if your brain just doesn't have the capacity for it 24/7. That's exactly why I believed you when you said you're Ossie's friend because of his money. Who wouldn't be? If you go to the other side again, then tell them to bring over your alter ego for a bit. It'd be convenient to have a competent Aussie for once. Unfortunately, I suspect that this is the only Aussie. What did you expect to get from interrupting me? The other side is our nickname for Enate Institute. It's down the street and directly opposite our school. It was even built from the same blueprint as our school. They probably reused the blueprint to save money, so they're completely the same, mirrored buildings placed on opposite sides. It's pretty close to here, a little more than 10 minutes walking. A lot of people wonder why they didn't just make one larger school instead of two smaller ones. The funny thing about it is that since the buildings look identical, we joke about alternate versions of ourselves going to school there, like clones or doppelgangers. At the other side, students who have bad grades here are honor students. If someone's fat, then their clone is skinny. Stuff like that. It's an old joke now, but I still find it pretty funny. Oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. Do you remember that weird email Sierra got? Ziva and I nod simultaneously. Aussie then pulls out his cell phone, and after playing around with it, shows us its screen. Is that another one? When he mentioned the email, I was already expecting this, and looking at the screen only confirms my fear. It's another weird email addressed to me. From Harry H. Ciaran Indian. Not ready for everybody. Can a lie become reality? If you want to know the truth, go find it. This afternoon, at the local sports center. Join it. Good luck choosing your first action. I stand there wide-eyed and in disbelief. Aussie puts away his cell phone and scratches his head in confusion. Do you remember how you used my cell phone to check your email the other day? I forgot to log out of your account and my phone has been logged into it since. To my surprise, earlier today I opened an alert for a new email and it turns out that it was actually for you. And, well, that's what I read. Again? What did I do to deserve this? What do you mean? This is perfect! This time I can go with you. I want to know what happens. Me too. It's hysterical enough as a story. Imagine us getting to watch it live. What? No way! I'm not stupid enough to repeat the same mistake. Once bitten, twice shy. Aren't you curious? After what happened yesterday, we absolutely have to uncover the truth. And you said that what happened yesterday was probably just a misunderstanding anyway. Whoever sent it is giving you a second chance. That's right! What happened to your depressing love story, eh? Are you going to abandon it now? That isn't the problem. What am I supposed to do? I don't even know what they mean by join it. Join what? I'm so excited to go there! Isn't there any way to convince you otherwise? Come on, Aussie, help me! Even if it's with one of those crazy schemes of yours. Crazy schemes? I see there's no other way. Aussie clicks his tongue in disapproval and sharply gazes at me. I guess we'll have to settle this with a bet. A bet? It's said that every human being chronically suffers from at least one sin. I don't think I'm usually greedy, but that naturally inherent part of me always wakes up with one word. Bet. The thrill of gambling, the risk, the possibility of getting caught cheating and getting punished. Fortune is the vessel that brings men glory and excitement, a trophy of what has come to pass. And I'm prideful enough to always fulfill my promises and stick to my bets, no matter the cost or prize. Everything I have in my wallet right now, wagered against you going to the sports center with us. I motioned for Aussie to show me what's in his wallet first. Inside, there's a reasonable, sizable prize, well worth the challenge. All right, Aussie, I accept. However, following the proper rules for this kind of bet, I get to be the one who decides which game we'll play. Sure, I'm going to win anyways. There's only one way to put to rest our ongoing rivalry, a game where you, the lowly commoner, dies in glorious battle against the eternal magnificent Hero King. We'll end this with a sled desk race. Sled desks? No way. All right, sled desks, let's do it. Care to explain what a sled desk race is? This is why I've been training day and night for an opportunity like this. You'll regret it when I make you step down from your throne. Is anyone going to answer me? My fear is akin to what a human would feel in the face of being stepped on by an ant. Since I chose the game, do you want to establish any extra rules? Hey, I'm still here! What's a sled desk? Next break, 101, a race to the death. To the death? Don't make me laugh. No more bets. The money's on the table and you can't drop out now. You know just how invincible I am when it comes to sled desks. The same goes for you. You might be surprised this time. We make our way back to our classrooms, bickering so offensively that sparks are flying at each other. Is anyone going to tell me what a sled desk is? In the end, the one who was forgotten is me. Jeez. After returning from our break, and finishing a class, I can't even remember the lesson of, we began preparing for our desk race. Ziva, the self-proclaimed impartial judge, stands next to me while I tune up my sled desk. I wanted to believe that your sled desks were a little more original than desks being used as sleds. Seriously, it's a freaking race on top of desks. Will Aussie and you ever grow up or what? You don't get it, do you? Sled desks represent the inner flame that burns inside of every man, a tool used to awaken our inner beasts. You can't understand it because you lack testosterone. More like patience. So, are you guys going to race in the hallway? It's kind of narrow for that. Besides, do you really think your desks will slide like sleds? Even if you get rid of the rubber on the legs, I don't think they'll... It's obvious how new you are here. You're just lucky to see a live sled desk race today. I don't know why we haven't done any this year before today. You see, the hallway is positioned at a downward angle, although it can be difficult to notice. When we discovered that, we realized that here's perfect for racing on top of pretty much anything. We agreed that desks were our best option for racing. That's how sled desk races were born, an important milestone for the future generations. I put tacks over the rubber on the legs of my desk so I could slide even farther too. I gently kick one of the desks to show Ziva how far it can go. Thanks to the tack modifications, it slides across the floor and reaches the classroom door effortlessly. The winner is the one whose desk goes the farthest distance in only one push. I see. I'm not really convinced though. These races have to end pretty quickly. The desks don't slide for more than 10 seconds. And that's exactly how long a race should take. It isn't like our breaks are going that long either. Then what's the fun part? You still don't get it? You'll see if you watch. The sled desks can awaken a man's inner strength, which can warp even time and space. Pay attention. Whatever. Are you ready to lose? Lose? Is that another one of your foreign expressions? I don't know what it means. I fear I'll have to teach you then, companero. Desk versus desk in the narrow hallway. There's barely enough space for us to stand around. The most important part of each sled desk race is the beginning. The contestant with the best initial with the best initial push will probably be the winner. There are also other obstacles in the way, making it pretty difficult to overtake your fellow racer once he has passed you. But you never know in a race to the death. There are no set rules. Anything goes. The other contestant can try to mess up his opponent at any moment by any means. That's why sled desk races are taken so seriously. You can get pretty hurt, so only the bravest of students can compete. Aussie and I are the only ones who participate in these races now that I think about it. I wonder why. As the judge, I'll give the starting signal and act as the commentator. Not that I think there's going to be much to say. I mean, are you guys ready to go? Start whenever. The only thing you need to be ready that you need to ready are your lips, mi amor, since I'll take a kiss from them since I'll take a kiss from you as my prize when I win. I'm going to ignore that. We're starting in 3, 2, 1, go! Oh God. The race begins with a strong first push from both competitors. Their timing was in sync, both of them clearly taking into account how important the beginning of the race is. It's a perfect start! But what's this? Hossie's in the lead! Ha 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 ha! How does it feel to be eating my dust back there for once? Impossible! How can you possibly be faster than me? I was sure that... You were sure that I wasn't using tacks, right? After every race, I'd wonder how CR was so fast. Defeat after defeat, my desk would always stop short while yours always seemed to fly past mine. I studied mechanics and engineering to figure out what could have happened. And then I had an epiphany. You were using tacks to reduce the friction. With the tack covering each leg, your desk was that much faster than mine. When I found out, I decided against telling you so that next time I'd catch you off guard, and I could use it to my advantage. Who's the smart one now? You've done all those races against him without ever knowing that? I noticed as soon as I saw his desk. Why do you think I accepted this bet? I'm not the champion because I'm good, it's because he's stupid. Don't spoil my glorious moment. In any case, it still doesn't make sense. We started at the same time with the same push, so how did Aussie get in the lead? What's going on? When the distance between the two of us widens, I notice a shimmering trail, a shimmering trail. Aussie's desk is leaving behind a trail of some sort of liquid. That's... oil! Aussie's desk legs are covered in oil! That's why his desk is faster! I wasn't satisfied with just betting on even ground. I looked for more methods to improve my speed. And this is the result of my hard work. Maybe Aussie isn't as dumb as he seems after all. I also drew some flames on the desk to improve its acceleration. Oh gosh. In movies, the flaming cars are always the fastest, so it has to be legit. I take it back. While Aussie is distracted, I begin my all-out attack. I toss everything out of my pencil case. Pens, pencils, scissors, a pencil sharpener, an eraser that looks like a pig, and even some of those fake chocolate coins so ancient that their currency stopped existing more than a century ago. They fly through the air towards Aussie's unsuspecting sled desk. If I'm lucky and something hits it, his desk might slide backwards, awarding me victory. But it's not that simple. No way! Partially cloudy with an 82% chance of relative humidity and low pressure fronts. And an over 60% chance of rain during the day, so I brought an umbrella! Aussie used his umbrella to defend against the incoming attack! Now Edian has nothing left to throw! Time stands still for me. Not because of an incoming premonition of my defeat, or the amazing fact that Aussie can memorize daily meteorological data so precisely, but for the pain I feel after losing a friend. He who once walked the same path as I is now standing at the crossroads, facing another direction. He's unreachable, and even though I thought he was stupid, He's silently leaving me behind. Probably because he's too good for me. My dearest pig eraser. I watch as it bounces off the umbrella, jumps past the hallway and into the abyss, forever lost to me. To tell the truth, I had found it on the floor a couple days ago, so I really had probably just stolen it from some unlucky fool. Our time together was so short that I didn't even remember that I had it in my pencil case until now. Still, it was the most powerful and touching relationship I've ever had with an eraser. Farewell, my old friend. Vendetta! Indian's gaining ground! How is it possible? He's using his opponent's oil trail to lose friction and speed up. Between the oil and Aussie's umbrella temporarily slowing him down, Indian is about to catch up. If he tackles him, he might... Not so fast. I still have one more trick up my sleeve. Aussie took something out of his umbrella. He has a ruler. But it's not just any ruler. It's a meter stick. Where did he get that from? You know what I'm going to do now, right? Checkmate, companero. Shit! Aussie flung the meter stick in Indian's path like it's a landmine. Or it's like a landmine. It's impossible for you to avoid it, Indian. At this speed, it can only end in catastrophe. Jump, Indian! Save yourself! It isn't worth it! I can't give up now. I promised that I'd never forget. I can't let my pencil sharpener's sacrifice be in vain. No, wait, it was an eraser. Right, an eraser. Not really sure whether it was an eraser or a sharpener. Whatever it was that I cared about, my desk collides with the ruler. The back legs of my desk fly upwards, flipped by the inertia. An instant later, the front legs follow suit. I'm about to fall. Nevertheless. What the? It's the sound of an angel. Yes, I can hear it. The angels singing, giving me their blessings. A hallucination or maybe a revelation. Anyways, it's here. I can see the heroes of old sled desk races standing next to my eraser, telling me that I shouldn't give up yet. Thanks, everyone. It wasn't necessary. With my newfound divine strength, I managed to flip my desk further to the point that it's now totally upside down. And from here... Go! I hold the desk legs while I stand on the underside of the table, as if it's a skateboard. I grind my way onto the banister and manage to overtake Aussie. I jump and with a hard flip, I make the desk return to its original position, allowing me to successfully continue the race. At last, I'm in the lead. How did he do that? Now Aussie's desk is grinding against mine. The two rival desks rub together, creating small sparks of fire and indents in the wood paneling. The end of the track is coming up, but Aussie and I know that there's still something we have to do. You surprise me, companero, I won't deny it. But it isn't over yet. We're going to settle this with our bare hands. Two men in motion on a battlefield. We both stand on our desks, accompanied by the hellish squeal coming from the friction between them. No words are necessary. Dialogue won't accomplish anything. It is now, with our fists, that one of us will fall and the other will grasp victory. Jump quickly! But Ziva's sudden warning makes us come back to reality. Haven't we been sliding for too long anyway? I mean, it's true that everything seems to slow down when there's this much tension, but this is a bit too much. When accounting for the oil, it makes sense that we're farther than usual. This isn't good, though, because at the end of the hallway there's... the stairs! Aussie and I managed to jump off of our desks at the last second, saving ourselves from a nasty fall. The stairs don't go down that far, so the desks still seem to be all right. Everything would be perfectly fine, if not for one tiny detail. At the bottom of the stairs, clearly frightened by her near-death experience with flying sled desks, we find the new substitute teacher. What do we do now? Sierra? Congratulations, Aussie! You held the you're the sled desk race champion. I'm retiring from all future competitions, so feel free to forget about my past titles and that I ever existed in the first place. As the new champion, you need to explain what happened to the administration. The fate of the Global Sled Desk League rests on your shoulders. Farewell! What are you even talking about, Sierra Campanero? Where are you going? My gosh, these guys. I'm at the nurse's office. Rather than leaving the school through the main entrance, I prefer going out from here instead. It isn't like there's a real nurse here though, so the attendant is actually the groundskeeper. She handles a lot of different tasks, from paperwork to carrying all the keys. If you persuade her that you're sick enough, you can take a nap here for a while and sneak out after she leaves. Since she handles so many different things, she won't usually notice if you're gone by the time she comes back. In any case, she doesn't trust anyone, so the nurse's office collects dust more than anything. Then, how'd I convince her to let me stay? Easy, I told her the truth. My right leg aches badly. I sit on one of the beds and massage my leg from the knee down, hoping it'll lessen the pain. Afterwards, I take out a small bottle of painkillers and stare at it as it sits in the palm of my hand. I decide against opening it and put it back in my pocket. I lay on the bed and close my eyes before I start taking deep breaths until I eventually feel myself get lost in deep thought. The new substitute must be pissed. She may not have seen us do it, but it's just a matter of time until she figures it out. Nobody got hurt, but even I recognize that we went overboard. If yesterday's prank made her angry, I can't imagine how she took this one. I wonder, will they finally punish me this time? After 15 minutes, I feel better. I get up and walk over to the window. The nurse's office is on the first floor, so you can climb down into the back field, making it the perfect place to sneak out from. I haven't made a habit of it, but this won't be the first time that I escape out this window when I want to play hooky. Let's see. Although it's a small fall, my leg still hurts. Thankfully, it's tolerable, but that doesn't change how uncomfortable feeling it is. I'll rest more once I'm home. Better get going. There's a fence behind the school that separates it from the park. No one goes back there, and the fence has a locked gate that's easy to pick if you're skilled enough. Once you're in the field, the park is only several steps away. I make my way through the park and to the pond and begin writing in my notebook. It's not like I have anything better to do, but you'd think by now I would have learned how dangerous it is to walk around with my face stuffed in a book. What was that? Something suddenly hits me in the stomach. Thankfully, it doesn't really hurt. At first, I don't see anything, but when I look down, I find the culprit. That hurts! At my feet, there's a girl with her hands wrapped around her head. At first, I think it's because she ran into me, but then she starts to panic for seemingly another reason. She keeps swatting at the air around her head and when she realizes that there's nothing there, she goes pale. My head! She gets visibly nervous, her eyes darting around the area. After a moment, she settles on looking at my shoes, or more precisely, what's behind them. None other than her previously missing hat. I bend over to pick it up, brushing the dirt off as best as I can before handing it back to her. This is yours, right? The girl nods in relief as she reaches out her hands to retrieve her possession. At the last second, I raise my arms and pull the hat out of her reach. She seems familiar somehow. Her name is on the tip of my tongue, but nothing comes to mind. I'm positive I've met her before. I bring the hat closer to her, watching as her face lights up with happiness. But I still can't remember who she is. One more time. I move the hat out of her reach and watch her as she automatically grows anxious. I could do this all day. Finally, I relent and return her belonging. I know better than to tease little girls. Too much. She gets up and inspects her hat. desperately placing it back on or upon the top of her head as if her life depends on it. She looks so happy. Some people are so easily satisfied. But I still haven't figured out how I know her. Maybe taking a closer look will help. She responds doubtfully, staring me down as she slowly takes 2 steps towards me. Eventually, we're only inches apart from each other. I still can't remember her. It's like I know her, but I can't put a name to the face. Suddenly, she surprises me and breaks the silence with a question. Are you going to keep staring like that or kiss me already? I suddenly break the Guinness World Record for backflips, barely managing to stutter anything in response. Kiss you? I wasn't going to. Oh, so it was a staring contest. I won, right? What's my reward? Once she shows me her radiant smile, I remember who she is. That nutcase from yesterday. I think part of me tried to block that event out of my memory. Understandably so. However, I have to admit that I'm pretty curious to know what her deal is. Our encounter yesterday was just so random and weird that I can't help but feel curious. There's no reward. It wasn't a contest in the first place. I just couldn't remember who you were. Mysterious girl Y. Mysterious girl Y? X is already taken. It's a long story. Look, it doesn't matter. It was just a misunderstanding. Let's start over again from the beginning. Who are you? What's your name? My name is Claire Argus. I'm 18 years old. My blood type is B. I'm 4'9" tall, or 4'9" tall. I weigh 97 pounds and my measurements are 24, 20, 27. My favorite color is silver. And my favorite periodic table element is tungsten. Oh, good choice. This is my favorite metal. No, wait a second, don't mess with me. What kind of introduction was that? You said you're 18 years old? Are we in the same grade? I thought you were a kid. How would I know? You haven't even introduced yourself yet. What kind of gentleman refuses to introduce himself to a lady before conversing with her? I totally understand that you're nervous after failing to kiss me, but you have to get over it. Believe in yourself, second time's the charm. I wonder if she's doing that on purpose or if she really is insane. In the end, I decide to introduce myself, pushing aside her weird attempts at cheering me up. Without getting into too much detail, I explain what I'm doing here so I can resolve the misunderstanding, if there ever was a misunderstanding in the first place. I know that I shouldn't just go with the flow, but I think it's probably harmless to observe this odd specimen. After I introduce myself, I try to learn more about her. She responds quickly and clearly when I ask about her studies. She tells me that she's currently studying on the other side, Innate Institute. That explains how I didn't know her when we're in the same grade, and there are only 2 schools in the area. When I ask her what she's doing at the park, however, her attitude changes dramatically. I wanted to skip school, so that's what I did. Nothing else to it. So you're a troublemaker. I see, it suits you. You already have the issues for it. Maybe, but I have my own reasons for it too. The tenderness in her words, even after I've mocked her, surprises me. Is this really the same girl from a minute ago? What reasons are those? I already told you the truth because I wanted to. But you won't believe me, right? The most logical reasons would be that I felt too stressed out, controlled, and pressured, and that's why I ran away. Those types of feelings could easily lead me to do this. Would that answer satisfy you? That isn't why I came here, but it's the conclusion you're going to arrive anyways, so I don't need to give you any more details. Hold on. If you don't want to answer, then you don't have to. No need to take it so seriously. Everyone has the right to keep their secrets. Is that so? It's obvious that Claire doesn't believe me. What's wrong with her? I don't understand. It hurts a lot easier when you have a convenient excuse. For example, when someone invites you out but you don't want to go, if you tell them that you have to work, take a test, or go on a date with your sweetheart, then you can get rid of the issue in a blink of an eye. Speak of the devil. Tell me, Ciaran. Claire takes this deep breath and closes her eyes for a second before casually asking me an unexpected question. Do you want to go out with me? What? Be my boyfriend, my partner, my better half. It wasn't a difficult question. This is the second time she's thrown an inconceivable question at me. What kind of joke is this? We haven't even known each other 5 minutes before she confesses to me. She seems to be completely serious right now. Her face says she's not messing around. She sincerely confessed to me. I believe her so much that it's scaring me. I hesitate, stuttering while trying to answer. I have a difficult time looking her in the eyes. I'm too nervous and frightened. Claire then places her index finger against my lips, silently telling me to stop. You took too long to answer, and that's no good. A half-baked answer won't do it for me. After all, to me, the most important thing is that you're truthful. I swallow deeply while lost in thought, questioning how difficult it is to decipher her words, or rather, her. Claire seems to notice my uncertainty, or maybe it's curiosity. She turns around and begins pacing with her hands behind her back. It looks like she's looking for or thinking about something. With a smile on her face, she finally announces her thoughts. I know! Let's play a game as an example. It's pretty simple, so you'll be able to understand what I was trying to say. Claire's in high spirits, more like she was at the beginning of our conversation. I shrug. It isn't like I have anything to say about it anyways. Imagine on top of that tree over there, there's a nest of baby birds, and waiting on top of the rock next to it is a hungry cat. Let's call him Sneeza. Sneeza? Why Sneeza? I don't know, it's cute. Don't you like it? Why aren't you naming the birds, too? Giving names to imaginary birds? Are you totally insane? I forgot who I was talking to for a second. Please, just get on with it before I decide to drown someone in the pond. There isn't much else to say. The question is simple. What do you do? That's a pretty unimaginative question, eh? It's pretty typical. You know, if you scare the cat away and save the chicks, then the cat will die of hunger. If you help the cat, then the birds will die. In the end, you have to choose who dies and who lives. Most people would just let nature take its course, since you can't have everything work out perfectly all the time. It's the circle of life, Simba and stuff. That's the problem, though. Aren't you part of nature, too? It's easy to forget that when it's convenient for you. If I choose to take the cat with me, then I'd have to do it for everyone, so it's not viable. I can't involve myself anyways. Maybe because the cat prefers to live that way. Those are the excuses we make so we can benefit the most in the end, to make our lives easier. And there's nothing wrong with that, we're only human. There are times when even our selfish decisions are the best one, or is the best one too. But can you accept what comes afterward? What comes afterward? That's why I don't plan on explaining myself to you any further, and why I won't accept any half-baked love confessions from anyone. Get it? Next time, try to do a better job, alright? For some reason, it all seemed to make sense to Claire, but I'm not as convinced. I don't know what the hell she just tried to explain to me. Some say it's impossible to understand women. This lady wins first place, hands down, as the most complicated. Oh, I gotta go! I forgot my bag in the classroom, and if I don't go back before the next class starts, I might lose it. Why didn't you bring it with you? That's what I did. I also switched desks with another guy so it wouldn't look like I'd left. He isn't guilty of anything, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. Isn't that what you just tried to tell me? What are you even talking about? My criminal record. Nothing you should pay attention to. To be completely honest with you, I just wanted to get the last word in before your weird triad. Don't worry about it, Sieran. Not everything in the world makes sense. We're already ninja accomplices. What? Ninja accomplices. Our bond is thicker than blood. You don't have to hide anything from me, comrade. I don't think any... What? Even I'm... Okay. I don't think anybody has ever gone to jail for skipping class, but if they do go after us, I plan on blaming it all on you, comrade. Boo! You were so nice the other day, and now you're acting like this. What a letdown, Siren. -50 affection, sorry. Don't give up, though. I know you're better than that. Believe in yourself for me, all right? Until next time. Ending our conversation with words of encouragement, Claire starts to walk away. She turns around and enthusiastically waves to me after every couple of steps. So enthusiastic for a goodbye. And I just lost 50 affection. Now that I think about it, she said weird things last time too. I may not know what goes on in her head, but I know one thing for sure. For better or worse, this probably won't be the last time that I cross paths with her. I have no idea what to even think about all that, what just happened. That was really weird. Come on! You knew this would happen. You gave us your word, you have to do it. It'll be a lot of fun. Be positive. Besides, with such a long face, you'll get stuck in all the doorways. You don't want to get hurt, right? You could at least say something. You're too quiet. What's on your mind? I'm trying to think of a good place to hide a body. You only have yourself to blame, so stop moping around. As if we're on a crime show, Ziva came to my house to arrest me. She brought a warrant in the form of a promise. I had promised that I'd follow up on the email if I lost the sled desk race, which brings us to now. I find myself trekking along to the sports center, unsure of what to do next. Ziva's accompanying me, but Aussie couldn't make it for some reason. The point of all of this was clearly just to ruin my afternoon. Still, it was my gambling addiction that did me in. After all this, you haven't asked. Aren't you going to ask me what happened after you ditched class? Not really. Everyone imagined that all the tables grew sentient and started to run away. A 3-day suspension for both you and Aussie. You're kidding me. Yes. Don't joke about that stuff, woman. I pulled some strings to find out what the teachers were talking about, and there was a bit of everything. Nevertheless, I, the girl who owes you nothing and never asks for anything in return, came to your rescue and brought the teachers back to their senses. They rescinded my suspension after you spoke to them? I don't believe you. Well, about that. What happened? Hey, don't look away. What are you trying to say? They agreed to go easier on you, but I had to barter with them. An insignificant detail, really. I don't like the sound of that. Go on. They said you guys have to learn your lesson, improve your judgment, blah, 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 you know. So it turns out that they desperately needed students to help them with Aussie and you are now officially the grad committee. You two have to help prepare for the grad events, stuff like that. Wait a second. I see a car going fast enough to kill me if I jump in front of it. I'll be right back. Don't joke about that kind of thing. Jeez. We're all going to graduate soon, and it's completely normal for a student committee to handle grad event preparations. You're going to work together with some students from the other side. Both schools have representatives, and together the joint committee has to plan and organize all of the grad events. Nobody from our school volunteered this year, so they decided that it was a convenient punishment. Like the good friend I am, I said I'd join too, so all 3 of us will be working together. What do you think? Call an ambulance, but tell them not to bring any defibrillators. Let them know they can release my ashes over the ocean. Come on, stop joking around. It'll be fun. All we need to do is figure out what needs to be done for the events. Plus, each year is more or less the same. But I have to make an effort. It's work outside of school hours. I'll need to actually communicate with other human beings, you know. Humans! Are you implying that I'm inhuman? Obviously. You didn't care about getting expelled, but you're worried about having to work? You're such a lazy ass. It reminds me of someone else. Look, being on the graduation committee is going to be tedious. Some students will want one thing and others will want the opposite. You have to try to please everyone. It's too difficult. If there are no alternatives, then I guess I'll have to do it, but I'd rather just change the subject for now. Yeah, change the subject. I see. You know what? I've realized something. I already told you. If I have to join that stupid committee, then I will. No, listen! I'm talking about you. I've realized that that maybe what you're suffering from is schizoid personality disorder. Are you making up a diagnosis again? I told you to stop looking at mental illnesses on Wikipedia. You wanted to change the subject, didn't you? Here you go. You don't enjoy socializing, you're detached on a personal level, and your sense of humor is unsympathetic. At first, I thought your writing obsession was a symptom of autism, but you don't seem to have any issues communicating with other people. However, it would make sense if you were a secret schizoid since they're able to fake social interactions. Also, some schizoids share symptoms with those afflicted with Asperger's. It would make a lot of sense. Are you telling me that I'm autistic? Do you want to fight me or something? Just because I'm different, it doesn't mean that I'm crazy. Correct! You aren't crazy. A lot of psychologists agree that schizoids don't actually suffer from a disorder, but that their behavior is part of their personality. Just because someone acts differently doesn't mean they're suddenly an alien. There are a lot of circumstances in which regular people can end up going crazy purely from the power of suggestion. The best way to prevent that is to be confident. There's nothing wrong with acting differently from others or making a mistake. But that is all the time that I have for this episode, guys. So if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below and don't forget to subscribe. It would mean the world to me if you did. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!